The situation between the United States and Venezuela has reached a new level of tension, with news emerging that Russia is preparing to deploy its most advanced strategic bomber, the Tu-160, to Venezuela. This move is seen as a direct response to growing fears of a possible U.S. military strike against Venezuela. At present, almost 4 U.S. Navy destroyers, a nuclear attack submarine, and around 4,000 U.S. Marines have surrounded Venezuela's coastal waters, awaiting orders from President Donald Trump. In addition, the United States has deployed its cutting-edge F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico, a location just 500 kilometers from the Venezuelan border, further raising the possibility of confrontation. For Russia, sending the Tu-160 bomber is not a new strategy. It has done so several times in the past whenever Venezuela's leadership felt directly threatened by Washington. This is not the first time Russia has sent its most strategic bombers to guard Venezuela. In fact, Russia has done so several times before. Russia previously deployed its heaviest and longest-ranged combat aircraft, the Tu-160 strategic bomber, to Venezuela, at times when the country has faced significant threats from the United States. This was first done on September 10, 2008, when 2 of the Tu-160 strategic bomber arrived in the country as part of military maneuvers, and again in November 2013. Another deployment of 2 Tu-160s landed in Caracas on December 10, 2018, at a time when the first Donald Trump administration was actively considering options to attack Venezuela. The current crisis deepened after a recent U.S. strike against a Venezuelan boat. According to Washington, the boat was carrying drugs intended for smuggling into the United States. The attack, carried out using a Hellfire missile, destroyed the vessel and killed 9 Venezuelans on board. While U.S. officials insisted the operation targeted criminals, the move sparked widespread criticism. Many questioned President Trump's public tweet about the incident, arguing that destroying the boat without presenting evidence or making arrests was both reckless and unjustified. In Venezuela and other parts of the world, this strike was seen as an example of U.S. aggression that could further escalate into a broader conflict. Russia's Tu-160, often referred to by NATO as the Blackjack, is one of the most powerful strategic bombers in the world. First introduced during the Soviet era, the aircraft remains the heaviest combat aircraft ever built and has the longest operational range of any bomber currently in service. With its sleek, variable sweep-wing design, the Tu-160 can reach speeds of Mach 2, making it not only fast but also difficult to intercept. The aircraft can carry both conventional and nuclear weapons, with an operational range of more than 12,000 kilometers without refueling. Equipped with advanced avionics and capable of carrying long-range cruise missiles, while each bomber can carry up to 12 cruise missiles in standard configuration. Russia's ability to station Tu-160s in Venezuela is considered a valuable strategic asset for the country, with the bombers KH-101 and nuclear-tipped KH-102, cruise missiles capable of striking targets across much of the continental United States, while the aircraft loiter in Venezuelan airspace. It is designed to conduct global strike missions. Russia uses this bomber as a symbol of deterrence, showcasing its ability to project power across continents. By deploying the Tu-160 to Venezuela, Russia is signaling to the United States that any attack on the South American country would risk a much larger confrontation. For Venezuela, the presence of this bomber represents both a shield and a strong political statement that Moscow stands firmly by its side. For Russia, these developments provided the perfect justification to step in and demonstrate support for its South American ally. Deploying the Tu-160 is not only about protecting Venezuela, it also serves as a message to Washington that Moscow will not tolerate unchecked U.S. actions in the region. From a geopolitical perspective, this is part of Russia's broader strategy of countering American influence near its allies, much like how the U.S. supports countries near Russia's borders. The coming weeks will be critical. With American naval and air power in striking distance of Venezuela, and Russia preparing to send its most formidable bomber to Caracas, the risk of a direct clash between 2 nuclear powers has increased dramatically. While both sides may be posturing to avoid outright war, even a small incident could spiral out of control. Venezuela, caught in the middle, is relying heavily on Moscow's military presence to deter any U.S. attempt at regime change. Whether this standoff ends peacefully or escalates into open conflict will depend largely on whether Washington and Moscow can find a way to de-escalate without losing face. That's all for today's update. Please subscribe and like this video.